Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy. What subjects are really important to you? Grief, healing, culture, tradition, family. There are many, many of them. My guest today is Dr. Tulasi Acharya, and Doctor is a current professor, associate professor of English at South Georgia State University. He is an author, an educator, a researcher, a poet. He writes in both his native language of Nepali and English. He's published over a dozen books, many different genres. Doctor, please join me up here on stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Reid, for introducing me to the audience out there. Thank you.
I met Doctor in Denver about a month or so back. We were out there for the 9th International Nepali Literary Conference. And one thing that impressed me so much about the doctor is the fact that he publishes in both Nepali and English. And he was helping some of his fellow comrades out there try to break into that English barrier, because that's a hard one to do when that's your second language, because it's not an easy language. You've been here in the States almost 20 years. And so you've had a chance to really acclimate in many, many ways, academically for sure, with your writings, with your focus on everything. But when did you first discover the fact that you really wanted to write a book?
That's a good question, Reid. Actually, I really didn't realize that I would end up becoming a writer. But when I started my first master's degree in English literature while in Nepal, I was introduced to many, classical literature out there. The books by Shakespeare, or the poem by, the Geoffrey Chaucer, or William Wordsworth, or William Blake, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, you name it. When I get to, those works of literature, I kind of got more interested in sort of writing. I started having a lot of ideas, and unless I put them down, I wanted to, never felt satisfied. So I think from there, when I started my master's degree in English literature while in Nepal, I think that kind of inculcated in me, the idea of writing, and how it helped me feel so satisfied. And I think that became one of the catalysts for me. And then I came to the US to further my studies in writing, but that was in professional writing. So as I was in the program, I majored in creative writing, and I had to do sort of a capstone project, sort of a thesis, writing. And I wrote my debut novel, Running from the Dreamland, and that got published actually by a small press in Georgia, Atlanta, where I am in right now. And that kind of inspired me, and I started realizing that, hey, I really want to be a writer. And that helped me be who I am. And that really, inspired me and motivated me when it came down to writing and reading. So, yes.
Okay, so you write in 2 different languages. Is there anything unique about one language over the other as you're putting together the text in your mind and it's going down to your fingers and ending up as text in a document?
I mean, being born and raised in Nepalese culture, and growing up learning Nepali language and trying to write in English, always you have sort of a hybrid perspectives, hybrid culture into play. But definitely when it comes to writing in English, and then it has been a while that I have been in the US. Pretty much you already mentioned that, almost 18 20 years now in the US. So there are so many, the things that I'm very much, acclimatized with the linguistic and cultural associations and the environment and atmosphere and the ambience here in the country. So, certain writing is more guided by the English itself. When it comes down to writing in English, sometimes the emotions and the feelings, the nostalgia, still come back from Nepal, and sometimes the ideas come out to be more effective. My feelings and emotions, are very, and I feel very, satisfied only when I express certain emotions in Nepali writing. But at the same time, some emotions, some ideas that I have built up after I came to the US, that I'll be satisfied only if I, structure them in English syntax or English semantics. So, it's kind of half and half. Sometimes I do not have the exact word that I am looking for in Nepali, but at times, English really works well. And at times, I'm looking for the word exactly that, I want to fit in to address my emotions. And that time I don't find the right word in English. And then sometimes the Nepali words, kind of help me better understand and analyze my own emotion as well. So, what I do is that I kind of a switch code. Code switching is very important when it comes down to writing either in English or Nepali as well. So this is a sort of a hybrid sort of a writing, but this hybrid writing is also is one kind of the writing which helps us understand the emotions and the feelings of an immigrant writer like me, and that is how the writing should be like. That is what I feel like. Yeah.
So when it comes to editing, now you have a double whammy because you're thinking in two different languages back and forth, depending on what that emotion may happen to bring out of you. And sometimes even in English, it's hard to find that one right word. There's words I can't tell you how many times I'll go in. What's a synonym for this? I know there's a word I'm looking for, but it's not there. So even native speakers have the problem of being able to convey that particularly in emotion, because a word can mean this, can mean that, and picking that right word is so important as a writer.
Yeah, and then even the even a writer, the author, his name is George Steiner. In his book After Babel, he talks about even if your mother tongue is English, and when you are speaking or writing in English, still the sort of a translation process is taking place in a very unconscious level, which you do not know. So this kind of a translation somehow takes place even in unconscious level, even if you're the even if you are writing in your mother tongue, but that is in a very deeper level I'm talking about. But yes, and coming from all the way from Nepal, and growing up learning Nepali language and writing English is basically kind of going back and forth, in between two different languages and bring in two different cultures.
Well, what impresses me most about the background research that I did on you, Doctor, is the fact that, let's say you write about dog grooming or cake baking or any other subject, public speaking. It doesn't matter. Most of us have a focus. Mine's on longevity. There's a lot of focus, but you write on culture, you write on family, social justice, traditions, relationships, gender, immigration, lots and lots. I mean, those are very difficult topics just for somebody who is experienced in them. To take somebody and cover that wide breadth, that's a difficult thing to do well. It really and truly is. I have to congratulate you out loudly.
Thank you for admiring and for your compliment. Thank you.
Okay, your latest book, Like Water on Leaves of Taro, a Himalayan memoir. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a memoir. I call it a Himalayan memoir because it has come all the way from Nepal, and Nepal is a Himalayan country itself because you have many mountains, snow-clad mountains, and also whatever I have discussed in the book has. Is, a lot to do with the different people and places and different geographical places that I run into, or the people that I run into while in Nepal. And that is one of the reasons why I have that title, Himalayan Memoir. But this book is more about knowing death very closely, because death has been a very hot topic. People do not want to talk about death because death has been associated with the idea of fear, kind of a scary thing. People do not want to compromise. I mean, do not want to hear the word death itself. So, but I'm trying to be very creative and also be informative at the same time, that we need to be mindful of how wonderful this idea of death itself, because if there is one thing that is the truth, is that death is something that we can call a single truth. Because when you are burned, there's one thing is sure, that you will die sooner or later. But that is something, a very important topic that we need to talk about. But I don't know why people hesitate to talk about death. Death has nothing, not always has to do come with the the loss or grievances. That also has something to do with the creative force of life. It has also something to do with the reunion with the family members. When you have a ritual observed, or after somebody else died, the immediate family members in your family, and people come to see you. Even the relatives that you have never ever met before will come and see you, and you happen to run into those people, and that will kind of bring a lot of reunion. I think that is also very important. So if we know how to deal with death tactfully, it will basically give you the idea of how to live your life to the fullest. How to live your life. Living is the art of life. How to live quite tactfully. So that is something I wanted to bring in this memoir as well. Basically, when my wife lost her parents, she had to lose her mother. She was very young, and then, which was very unexpected. And in the family, they didn't have a son, because son plays a very significant role in the Nepalese culture. And without the son, pretty much they consider that after the death of parents, they cannot go to heaven, because the son is supposed to do the ritual observations and that kind of a thing. So there, me being a son-in-law and being with the family, and dealing with this death so closely, how harrowing experience it was for me, and how I had to go through all of that, this kind of a emotional, the cost, how much difficult the journey was for my wife, and I was right there, walking in the shoes of my wife. So I think I wanted to bring that aspect into play, also doing a lot of cultural research as well. So how culturally we view death in Nepalese culture, but also in other contexts, not only in Nepal, but also in other cultural landscape. And everything happened in the backdrop of COVID-19. So that is the major focus of this book.
Yeah, the emotional uptake of any death. I mean, I've lost both my parents. My wife's lost both hers. I've lost some brothers and sisters. So yeah, it's not an uncommon one. I understand what you're saying. Really commiserate with you, because when it happens to you, you have some level of control. When it happens to somebody else, all you can do is help, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But we're getting ready to go to commercial break here in just about a minute. But I wanted to say first, to let everybody know that your book, Like Water on the Leaves of Taro, a Himalayan memoir, it just won the 2026 Georgia Independent Authors Association Award. And as I understand right now, you've been nominated to be the Georgia Author of the Year. Congratulations. Right. I hope that follows through. And
thank you.
So I guess we'll find out here shortly when that happens, but that's quite an honor. So, Doctor, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'd like to go to the commercial break here because we have a short show today. But when I come back, I want to talk about your marketing. When did you start marketing your very first book? And then what are you doing differently today? So that's the direction I want to take the show afterwards. So we'll be on a short break. Be back in about a minute.
Sure.
What if many of the problems we associate with aging are not random? What if there are identifiable causes behind declining energy, chronic disease, and memory problems? We have been told that aging is simply something we must accept, that slowing down is normal, that growing older means growing weaker. But what if that's only part of the story? Why do some people remain active and engaged well into their later years? Why do others struggle with disease, fatigue, and declining health? What is happening beneath the surface? What processes drive aging? In Aging Sucks, researcher, educator, and author Red O'Loughlin explores what researchers have discovered about why we grow older. No medical degree required, no confusing jargon, just clear explanations of what researchers have discovered about the processes that influence aging. You cannot stop aging, but understanding its causes may help you make better decisions about your health, your future, and your quality of life. Because understanding comes before action. Action creates hope. Aging sucks. End the guesswork. There is hope.
Red O'Loughlin here. My guest today is Dr. Tulasi Acharya. Doctor, please join me back up here on stage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, just before the break, I was going to ask you about marketing. As authors, that's one of those skill sets we don't have, generally speaking. But it turns out that we write a book and then we tell the world about it. And then as you write more books, you start telling the world about it before the book is done. My latest book, I started 3 months before I ever started writing the book, telling the world about it. So tell us your experience about marketing and what you found about what works, what doesn't for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the toughest questions because everyone wants to do the marketing of their book, and the world is very competitive. Pretty much everyone is enjoying utilizing their social media, and that is exactly what I do as well. When my first debut novel, Running from the Dreamland, came out, I mean, we didn't have a lot of social media platform. I mean, it was in 2014, like we do have like TikTok these days, which people use all the time to market their books and to do a lot of promotional to make promotional videos as well. I think we had a Facebook. I had a very few followers. Definitely, I utilize my Facebook, and at the same time, I reach out to my friends who were in the US. Personally, reach out to them. Hey, my debut novel has come out. Help me. Blah blah blah. So that is the only way I did it, I think, so far. But coming all the way, from there to here now, I think we have a lot of social media platform. I am pretty much present everywhere. I have a Facebook account, I have TikTok, I have Blue Sky, I have definitely, as I say, TikTok, and I also have Instagram, and at the same time, LinkedIn and things like that. But mostly I utilize Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Whenever I get some time, then I tend to make a couple of videos every day talking about my book. But sometimes what I realized was that if you talk only about your book every day, I think that's really not gonna have a lot of viewers or audience. So it's better to come up with a different strategy and tactics where you will not only be talking about your books, but as you'll also be talking about good books out there, or some writing tips, or the writing strategy, which will definitely kind of pull the attention of the reader, the audience out there, and they would like to follow you and also would like to see your book as well. I try to write and get short pieces or the articles published, and I share them. I even reviews some good books as well. I think that also few things are very noticeable for the readers out there as well. And again, sometimes what I do is that I even collect some email addresses from different libraries, local libraries at the same time. And then what I do is that when my new book comes out, I kind of shoot an email to those people out there. Hey, this book has come out. It has its theme. Perhaps your reader might like it. Those who comes to the library might be willing to read it. And definitely your your friends and families, maybe you might want to reach out to them. You might want to reach out to them verbally, and then it's sometimes it's not easy to do all kind of thing. And again, going back to the idea of marketing and promotion, making promotional videos, you utilize the social media platform again, and that is something I continuously use and utilize, and that is what I have been doing.
Do you use AI at all in your research and your writing and proofing and editing and everything?
That's a very good question. I tried once how it works some time ago, just to see how they work on a piece of writing or how they revise or edit my writing. I think at first it felt so felt so great, but in days to come, it really didn't make me happy, because it is my writing, and I want to sound like me. It has my voice, and I want to sound like me. So after all, how happy you are using AI, that matters. And I really couldn't be happy, because I wanted to I want to tell them my story. I wanted to be who I am, and that is something was taken away when the AI was used. So I really didn't want to use AI at all. And I'm pretty much about me and my voice, and what I came across, and what is my subjective experience, that matters. So pretty much AI sometimes take that away from you, and then the writing is very stilted and sometimes repetitive as well. So I'm not a big fan of AI, but sometimes AI helps you with the research. For example, if you have to describe a scene or a place and you have never been there, perhaps you might want to ask AI, what's that place like, or that socio-political, cultural, the phenomenon or the milieu. If I need to know, perhaps I would do a lot of research on that using AI, with the help of AI, and that will give me an idea to rephrase and to rewrite in my own words. And that is how I use AI if I have to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's taken me almost 2 years working with my AI, where I can brainstorm with it and it's actually recognizes my way of writing and helps me a lot with some of the words I choose and things. So I find it helpful for me.
Mhm.
The cover of my last book was AI generated. And
Mhm.
that was, to me, I'm finding other authors are using AI to generate
Mhm.
rather than going and spending whatever money on a designer. That
Mhm.
seems to be an option.
I see.
So speaking of covers, tell me how you go about doing your covers for your books.
I think pretty much whatever the covers that I have for all of my books, pretty much those covers are designed by the publisher that I work with. None of the books are self-published, except for one or two that I did many years ago, and that is still are on Amazon. I pretty much, that time I think the AI never existed, I guess. So after the AI has been introduced to the world out there, I have not used AI for designing any book cover as such. It's pretty much the publisher that I work with, they have designed it. So perhaps they might have used AI, or has a human to work on that. That's totally up to them. But it looks like they have used a person work on designing the cover and things like that. So I have not had a chance to use AI for my book cover designing. I think I need to give a try sometime in the future. Let's see.
Uh, Audios. Are any of your books on audio?
Yes, pretty much all of my books have audio. Just the book that came out a few months ago, Like Water on Leaves of Taro, Himalayan Memoir. This book has it to come in audio. I'm working on it with the publisher who published that book. But a few other books, for example, some novels or a memoir that has been written in Nepali, originally published in Nepal. Those books here, I make it available on my own using Ingram, Spark, and things like that, and I read them aloud on my own. And you can see that here is the my podcast microphone here. So I use it, and then do the audio thing on my own using ACX. That's the platform that goes with the KDP thing. So yeah, so pretty much all my books have audio, and I would like to have audio as well. And pretty much all of my books are in hardcover, paperback, audio, and Kindle version. Yeah.
I know that when I'm going through all my different ways of editing or doing my editing and my proofing, literally the last thing I do is I go to Microsoft Word, I have the document, and I do the read aloud, and I sit back and I listen if it sounds good and I can read it as it's going. But instantly, if something is not right, you can hear it and see it, maybe see it not so quickly, but you certainly hear it. So that audio part is such a really good feedback for authors and
Yeah.
for editing and for proofing. It's such a wonderful tool. It's amazing to me that when I ask other authors if they use it, I wasn't aware it was available or whatever. But the thing is that when you hear it and see it, because you're getting the yellow brick road that runs across the bottom of the words, it's a really good editing tool. So,
Oh, I agree. I mean, if you're talking about the audio thing for the purpose of editing on the Microsoft Word, yeah, I agree with you on that. I have rarely used that. I rather prefer to go line by line from the bottom, from the top to bottom, and and if I feel comfortable with the syntax and the diction, the word choice, and it really resonates so well on me, I think I let it go. If not, then I stop right there and work on it. Sometimes, even if I use audio for that, I might miss it, but it works differently on different people,
yeah.
on different writers. So.
Doctor, it's been a real pleasure. We're getting toward the end of the show. Please tell people how they can reach your books, how they can get in touch with you, and if you have anything coming up in the future here that you're going to be somewhere speaking at or working a workshop, tell the world about it.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity, Raid. And yes, all my books are available on Amazon, and including all the online marketplace as well, Barnes and Nobles, and you name it. So everywhere. And then maybe some of the local bookstore might also have a physical copies, but usually in the the bookstores, I would say. Even the publishers of my books have the books, my books available. That is what it is. I've been working on a couple of books at the moment. I would like to work on different genres simultaneously. Right now I've been looking at a collection of my poems in English, and at the same time I'm working on one of the academic books as well, side by side. And I have a plan to work on on fiction at the moment. Pretty much one draft is ready, pretty much, and I have to finalize it, brush it up, and make it final before I reach out to the publisher. Yeah, in the future, currently I've been teaching at a college, and it is a wonderful opportunity being a professor, a teacher at a college, because that gives you the opportunity to keep updated with the different new books coming out. You have to read and write and things like that. It also helped me with being a writer as well. Yes, and my ultimate goal is continue writing and keep writing and keep reading, and keep telling the audience out there what you have to tell, and let the world out there know what you have to tell, and this is something I'll keep doing. And there are a couple of book signing events scheduled in days to come here at the local places as well. So those are the conferences also coming up. I will be joining those conferences and things like that. So if you are interested in my books, you can have access to them easily through the online marketplace and Amazon and everywhere. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Doctor, thank you so very much. We didn't cover your website today. We do have an audio program going out later on today after all the TV shows. Your website is Tulasi, 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 Acharya, Acharya. That's ACHARYA.com. So TulasiAcharya.com. Doctor, thank you so very much. I wish you the absolute best. I hope that you do make the Georgia Author of the Year. Go to a wonderful opportunity there. So I look forward to our next conversation, and I certainly enjoyed our time little we had in Denver. That was a rapid weekend, but thank you so very much for joining me today. I really and truly appreciate it.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Red, for this opportunity and for having me today. And this is a wonderful conversation. We met definitely once there at Denver, and that really brought us all the way to here. And it was a wonderful conversation. Look forward to talking to you again in days to come. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And we're getting ready to conclude the show today. If you've been watching the show today on YouTube, we appreciate it. If not, please consider being a subscriber to YouTube on USA Global TV and Radio and the Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck platforms on YouTube. So this is Red O'Loughlin signing off for today. My next program starts in about 16 minutes. It's called The Wise Ones. And then I have another show after that, my Talking Head show. I'll be talking about inflammation and aging. Take care, y'all. We'll catch you down the road. Bye now.
Every great story begins with a vision. At USA Global TV and Radio for years, we've been providing world-class education, entertainment, inspiration, imagination, connections, and hope. Most people don't stay to watch the outro or the credits, but it's the people behind every success, behind every breakthrough, and behind every unforgettable story who matter. The TV show hosts, our guests, our sponsors, our publicists, our production team, our distribution team, our search engine optimization team, and so many more. You're the ones who make the difference. Every great story belongs to the people who bring it to life. Our future looks bright at USA Global TV and Radio, and that's because of you, our loyal fan base all around the world in more than 60 countries. Together, we're making a difference because you matter. USA Global TV and Radio, live streaming to over 60 countries. Voiceover, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Video production and direction, Paul Garcia. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV and Radio on YouTube.
What if many of the problems we associate with aging are not random? What if there are identifiable causes behind declining energy, chronic disease, and memory problems? We have been told that aging is simply something we must accept, that slowing down is normal, that growing older means growing weaker. But what if that's only part of the story? Why do some people remain active and engaged well into their later years? Why do others struggle with disease, fatigue, and declining health? What is happening beneath the surface? What processes drive aging? In Aging Sucks, researcher, educator, and author Red O'Loughlin explores what researchers have discovered about why we grow older. No medical degree required, no confusing jargon, just clear explanations of what researchers have discovered about the processes that influence aging. You cannot stop aging, but understanding its causes may help you make better decisions about your health, your future, and your quality of life. Because understanding comes before action. Action creates hope. Aging sucks. End the guesswork. There is hope.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram-Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.